up, everybody? This is Sharyn Maceren. And this is Making of a Dream Queen. Are you ready? Ready for my dream life? In last week's episode, Tea Time, I brought up one of the biggest challenges I've ever experienced in my life with music.
One of the biggest challenges that I've ever gone through happened with Hard to Get.
Okay, so it's so wild because when I did episode 2, the Tea Time, it was very, very much not typical of me at all. I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe it would be a great idea to finally let the fans who have just been supporting me from day one, from the beginning, from the very, very beginning, who knows Hard to Get, who loves Hard to Get, who love and follow me and my journey. You know, I've always been so kind of PC about it and very, very just always wanting to bring positivity into who I am and to what I do. And so when I ended up doing that episode, I realized I kind of left it on a little cliffhanger, but at the same time, I learned so much from being that open and that transparent. So I'm really, really glad that I was able to share that with you all. Kind of the cliffhanger where we left off, I realized that I had a lot to offer when it comes to music. I knew that that was the gift that God had given me, and I knew that I wasn't going to stop after one record, especially with the success of Hard to Get. I knew that I wanted to get back into music, and I knew I wanted to keep doing it. And afterwards, where I was able to legally get the rights back to the song, I was able to put it under my own name. So when I ended up releasing my first album, Always Dreamin', Hard to Get was in there. So also when I released my very, very first single under my own name, and that first single under my own name was called 1 and 1, I was able to kind of always market things and be like, hey, this is Sharyn Maceren, the artist that formerly known as the S Factor, or the artist you heard from the S Factor Hard to Get. So that has just always been a part of my journey, a part of my identity. But like I said, I was able to have some resemblance of kind of winning, in the sense that I was able to get my song back, and I was able to just like not lose a part of me, because each song that I create is a part of me. And so I'm very thankful for that. And you know, when we were dealing with that stuff on the back end, between me and my producer Slam and Sam, you know, I'm glad that I'm able to move on from that scenario and, you know, just leave off on as good of terms as possible.
So this is my very first professional 8x10 photograph that was taken during the Hard to Get era. You have no idea how hard to get this 8x10 was. It was even hard for me to get. So I'm so happy that it's now finally available over at my official online store called SHARYNLAND. You all can visit it over at SHARYNLAND.com. Some cool little goodies I found throughout the years. This is Slammin' Compilation Volume 1. And so this was actually a vinyl that contains Hard to Get with my name on it. So for some of those collectors out there, that was pretty cool to see. And then my cousin got me this one. It is the S Factor Hard to Get vinyl. And then this right here is my very first CD single with my name on it, and it's called
1 and 1. Oops, sorry. And 1 and 1 was my first, from my experience, it really felt like my first introduction fully into the music world, where, you know, I'm on the label. It was a label that I co-owned, and so I was like one of the first people back in that era where like I was owning my own record label. And one of my favorite things to do when it comes to creating, in regards to being an artist, I love everything about it, but I love the fun stuff the most. So, you know, I loved doing the photo shoot for that. I love being involved in the graphic design. Let's see here. This maxi single has, it has the Hyperspace Club mix, the Sweet Reality mix, the Latin Dance mix, B-sides They Put Me on the mix, and Hard to Get Special Edition House mix, and all of these were produced by Joe Granberg. So yeah, that was my first collab with Joe Granberg. Whoa. So this was actually, I think this was like an earlier draft of what the cover could have looked like. This is my old scrapbook. There's the actual cover. The CD design, I kept that. Oh, and we had physical flyers that we would use to promote the singles. Funny. My first sticker. This was a playlist that I was on with Jose Melendez at the Wild Workout at noon. Like we were on with Gillette, Armand Van Helden, Houseaholics, Darude, Mojo, oh, Rosalinda. What I look like during my shows. And this was the day that I did a radio interview on 90.5 KSGAS with Delicious D. And the significance of that exact interview was that was the actual day and place and time where I ended up meeting famed producer Glenn Gutierrez, who ended up working with me on my debut album,
Always Dreamin',
and Nighttime Land. So we're gonna save that for a future episode, but just remember that this is where and how it happened.
There's a photo with me and my dancers and Brian. His name was Brian one night because I was doing a show in Sacramento for Power 105.5 FM. Here are some pieces of the artwork for my first edition of my debut album, Always Dreamin', and that's about it. And then this week, fast forward to my upcoming single, which I just realized I had no idea I was going to release another single this year. I've already released my summer single for the year, Love You Again. And then I had done 2 collabs. One was with Joey Mazzola and Massivo. That was a funky house track that was called So Good. And then I did a dance track with Woodrow called Feel the Dream. And so, yeah, so we did like 3 singles this year already. And I just heard this new song and I thought that I had been working on for a while, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to release this now, this song. You know, for me, that's kind of how I've done my career. I can always feel when a song is calling me. The song tells me when it needs to be released. And so we are working on completing the new single. And so yesterday we did hair, we did makeup. We were working with our photographer, Pete Zavala. His Instagram is Portraits by Pete Zavala. And we are going to be sending that off to our graphic designer. We're going to keep that under wraps for now. But I'm so excited, and I cannot wait to release another record for you all. This Wednesday, I'll be unveiling a brand new retro music video from my very first single ever, Hard to Get, the S Factor version. The premiere airs this Wednesday, October 19th, 12 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Mountain, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube's Dream Queen TV. The full video will be available for download over at my official store, SHARYNLAND. Thank you for watching episode 3 of Making of a Dream Queen, from 1 and 1 to Numb. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can always know when a new video comes out, and tell a friend. Bye! Oh, and like this video and comment too. This episode is sponsored by SHARYNLAND, my official online store.